In this video, I want to talk about my opinion on Helldivers 2 as a complete beginner with only 12 hours of playtime. Helldivers 2 is a beautifully created game to me. Everything from the music to the atmosphere and to the enemies is created with a lot of love from the developers, and you can tell at every step. The amount of content is honestly astounding, and the variety of weapons, stratagems, and ship upgrades is a lot to take in when you're just starting out, but you get through it and you learn a lot. Now, what is Helldivers 2 and why is it so loved by the people that play it? Before I dive into my experience, let's talk about what this game actually is. Essentially, it's a third person co op shooter where you play as a Helldiver, which is an elite soldier for the main faction, the main good faction of the game. Your job is to drop into hostile planets and simply spread democracy, meaning you just blow up everything that isn't human. The game is built around the Galactic War, which is one of the most interesting things I've seen in a game in the past few years. And this Galactic War is happening in real time. Every mission you complete contributes to a massive community goal to liberate the planets. And the different planets have different biomes and different enemies. And this massive community goal, how can I even explain it? So the entirety of the community that is playing this game, with every single operation, they lead to this goal being completed, basically, which is insanely cool. You pick a mission on your ship, get into a hell pod, and drop onto a planet to finish objectives and extract before you're overwhelmed by enemies. The game has also some story elements, but the best part is in the gameplay itself, so this is what I will focus on right now. Also because I'm still yet to understand the entirety of the story itself. The learning curve for the actual gameplay isn't too hard, but getting used to the chaos of higher difficulties, for example, the difficulty I'm playing on right now, which is around 6 or 7, is not something that you need to take lightly. The higher you go in difficulty, the more enemies will spawn, the bigger they will be, and the meaner. And I've had some incredibly overwhelming moments so far, including the gameplay you're actually seeing right now. So if you've seen what's going on this screen, to me, it is just nuts how many things can happen at once. And it is the best part of this game, or one of the best parts of this game. Even though I'm not really good yet at the game, you can see just how many enemies are piling up and are coming after me and my bodies, and it is so much fun. I've spent almost all my time playing with friends, and I think that's the best way to do it, more for this game than it is for others, to be honest. And I played some of my first games by myself, and honestly, I didn't have that much fun. But with friends, the game becomes something else entirely. There is so much to learn from them, especially when you're playing with people who are much more advanced and can show you the ropes while you're still trying to survive. And also when you're playing with higher level friends, and I believe when you're playing randomly, you can people that are really high level can also join you, but there are so many things happening. So the level that those guys can use their stratagems at is just insane to me. Now, in the game, you're mainly fighting three factions, which is the bugs, the bots, and the illuminate. I believe illuminate is how they are called, or illuminate, I am not really sure. Those three main actions, and all of them are unique and feel completely different from each other. So the bugs are the ones I fought the most, and in my opinion, they are the easiest. You're fighting everything from tiny little spitters, which are kind of spiders or something, to massive titans that are stories tall. And this is also what you are seeing here, gameplay of the newest biome that is also full of those bugs. The Illuminate are the new threat, and they are a little harder, but for me the automatons are the absolute hardest, and they are the ones I played the least against, because since I joined, all of the orders were away from their planets, so I might be thankful for that. But they are incredibly tanky, and you have to learn their weak points to take them down usually. Now, they might not be the strongest in every situation, but they are definitely the scariest to me. In general, I'd say that weak points play a big part in the gameplay, and most enemies have some sort of weak point, especially when it comes to the bigger enemies. The main grind of the game is working toward unlocking more weapons, stratagems, and armor. And the game uses a system where items are locked behind multi-tiered battle passes called war bonds, which isn't as bad as it sounds. This is where things kind of get a bit confusing for me, and while the shooting is simple enough to learn, I found it much harder to understand all the different currencies that are in the game and what exactly you could buy with them, basically, because there are so many and there's a lot to track in the menus. And also, just to be honest, I still don't understand all the currencies and exactly what you can buy with all of them. When it comes to the microtransactions, it actually feels fair for me. It seems quite hard to get the premium currency just by playing without paying, but compared to most other games out there, the system is much more reasonable. So you can pretty much gather every single currency you'd ever need by playing the game. Then you can use this currency, and there are different currencies on armor, stratagems, which are those really huge kill streaks or turrets and so on, and armors and guns, and buying different battle passes. For my honest verdict, I think Helldivers 2 is one of the best co-op experiences you can really get right now. Even as a beginner who feels lost half the time, and you've seen it in this gameplay, actually it's one of my worst gameplays, to be honest. The game never stops being rewarding, and it is rare to find a game that balances high intensity action with this kind of progression system without feeling like it's just trying to take your money, if you know what I mean. And it's a challenge for sure, but the satisfaction of finishing a tough mission is really worth it, whatever the challenge is. And even though I'm only 12 hours in, I can see why people really love this game. It is a grind, but it's a fun one, and it's gross, it's cinematic, and when you're running through a new biome with your friends, as I did in this video, while a giant bug tries to step on you, it feels really epic. That is a really big plus for this game. And if you're a beginner like me, really stick with your friends. It makes the learning process a lot more enjoyable, and it makes your gaming so much better. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the front lines.